Do you miss it, Danika? Because I know you pretty much told us now. I still refer to you as an England international because until you retire or until they say you never played anymore and tell everyone publicly, you're still an England international. Do you miss it, or do you think you'll ever come back?
If I got the opportunity and I was invited back in, I'd go back hands down. You know, there's no greater honour than playing at the top of your sport, playing at the top of your game, and I was very lucky that Chris Chapman came to watch me play rugby union, and he was the one that converted me to play rugby league, and I'll be forever grateful for that because it's always, I think any sports person, they want to play at the highest level, and I've played in the World Cup for my country, and even playing it in France in little tests was just great, and I miss it. I miss the pressure of having to be the best because essentially you have to continually be at the top of your game, and whether it be against your friends, so you know, Andrea Dobson, Emma Slow, Shani Crowell, you know, they're all my mates, but at the end of the day, you have to somehow be better than them in order to get selected for the game or selected for a shirt. And I miss that kind of drive, I think that's what, you know, that constant, what am I doing that somebody else isn't? And I'd give my left arm to play again for England. I don't really do much with it when I play anyway, as Faye can confirm. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said no, I'm over it and I'm old enough now, because I don't think I ever will be. You know, I could be 50, 60 and somebody'd say, do you want to play for England again? And I'd say, yeah, but the fact of the matter is, and it's quite openly known in the girls' game now, is that he prefers a younger squad, and he wants rid of what was the 2017 old girls, and he wants to develop this new younger model of team, which I think is a great idea in principle, but he needed longer to do that. I don't think the 3 years he's had is going to give him any, you know, there's some great players coming through, but picking up a 16, 17-year-old now in the Super League to play in an England shirt for a World Cup is very risky. You know, you look at Georgia Roach, who I think is a great player. I think she's probably one of the most skilled youngsters we've got in the game, but under pressure, I don't think she's that great. And that's not because she doesn't do it, but how have you prepared a 17, 16, 18-year-old, whatever she is now, for the pressures of playing internationally? And especially at half, when, you know, I've always said I'd hate to be a halfback because I'd hate to make those decisions. And ultimately, when you're setting up for the next play, you know, I've played outside of Faye a few times, and I rely on coming next from them. And I don't think you can put that on a youngster unless they are just some kind of crazy phenomenon, which Georgia Roach is close to being. But maybe I'm just arguing the toss that he should have some olders in there. But you know, build and develop the younger squad. I totally agree, and I think the Knights is a great idea. But you've got to make sure that mentally they're stable enough to handle the pressure, because I think it was 2015 or 2016, and we drew with France. Amy scored to draw. And I remember the disappointment feeling I felt of letting my country down. You know, that's insane, because at that point nobody really cared about England Women's Rugby League. But I remember being in the dugout and nearly crying, and Chris Chapman was like, get your head together, you know, sort yourself out. And we weren't allowed to show that disappointment. We had to be like, congratulations, France, or whatever it was for the draw. But that was difficult. And that was like as a 29, 30-year-old. And that was really difficult to take. And that was a draw. And there was this really funny moment in the 2017 World Cup when we lost to the Cook Islands, and we shouldn't have done. We had this circle of truth. Do you remember that, Faye?
Yeah.
This awful circle of truth. And it basically was everything out in the open. You know, who's letting the team down? Why are you not working hard? Who's doing well for the team? And it was vicious. It was brilliant. It kind of, after it was done, it was brilliant, and it kind of got everything out in the open, and things were said that needed to be said that people were probably hiding. But I don't think a 16, 17-year-old could handle that. You know, there's quite a few girls that struggled and took some time to get over that.
And we allowed them McDonald's afterwards, weren't we?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really missed normal food to me when I was over there. But like when the EPU was announced this year, I'll be openly honest, I didn't know half of the younger girls who was in it. I was a bit like, who are they? Who do they play for? Kind of thing. I mean, maybe it's me. Maybe I don't get it. I think I have my rugby life and I have my life, and I turn up to training and I play, and I'm not a very sociable person within rugby. I think I've got quite good few friends, but I've gone from where rugby was my life to actually rugby's my hobby now, and I do it because I enjoy it, and the minute I stop enjoying it is the minute I walk away. Hence why with the England stuff I'm not in it this year, and won't be for the foreseeable. But in terms of the younger girls coming through, leading up to a World Cup year, some of them know it's a big step up, but like with Georgia, hand on my heart, she's the best halfback I've played with leading in an EPU. I think we just worked. I done the organising, she played off the back of it, and I think as long as you've got a halfback combination like that, that's fine. And same with any combination. If you've got a more experienced prop forward and a younger prop forward, and they take the lead being the older prop forward, then I think it works quite well. I played with Kirsty in the 2017 World Cup, and she was more of the organiser. She had a lot more experience. We played a lot more down her edge. In France, when we got that big win in 2018, I think it was, I pretty much shifted everyone around and organised, and Georgia played off that, and it was really successful. Unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to play in PNG together. I think we got about 5-6 minutes in the first game, but so I obviously wasn't someone he was looking for, and that's fine. But an honest conversation is all I asked for, which I didn't get. But leading up to the World Cup, I do hope there's a lot of experienced girls in there. I know quite a few experienced girls around my age, 28, 29. So hopefully they'll be able to lead the younger girls through the squad. But the likes of Kelsey, when we played in Goroka, she was outstanding. I wish you could have seen that video, but again, she wasn't picked in the second test. Which she was really upset with. So was I. It hurts not being picked. You know, when you're busting a gut out and you've played as hard as you can, it's the worst feeling in the world, being told you're not getting picked, whether that was 2017 or now. But some of them young girls, I hope they grow. I hope they grow a lot at club before they hit an international stage, because you don't want it to damage them. Like, I'm 28, and the last 6 months have really impacted me, like, quite heavily, really, with my mental health, and I've struggled a lot, and I've got good friends around the game who've kept me going. But yeah, I wouldn't want that to happen to someone who's 16, 17, because that's when your dropout rate starts.